Hi, Wyoming Traveler here, and I am at Fort Bridger State Historical Park. Fort Bridger, like Fort Laramie, started off as a trading post and then later on became an Army fort. So let's go and look at Fort Bridger, the Army fort. This is the sutler's store here at Fort Bridger. This is the sutler's store, and where soldiers, civilians, everybody came in here and could purchase pretty much all the luxuries that they could not find out here on the frontier. And we have canned goods, boxes of, what are these in the boxes? Crackers or?
Pepper sauce, horseradish, stomach bitters, all kinds of stuff.
Do you sell whiskey here?
This was the bar area, actually.
Oh, okay.
We've transformed it into the store, but that part had burned down, so we are actually in the tavern section.
Oh, okay. And you still wouldn't give me a sarsaparilla.
No, I know.
Okay, thank you very much. Along here are the warehouses. There's an ice house, and this is the first schoolhouse in Wyoming. As you can see, it's pretty tiny. The milk house, this is where you would store anything that you would like to keep cold. Milk, butter. Here's a diorama of part of the fort. You can see the officers' quarters. Then moving on to the enlisted barracks. Okay, the large complex of buildings in the background is the sutler's store, and in the foreground is another barracks. And along here are, again, officers' quarters, which we'll look at, and then where the barracks for the enlisted men were located. This is the fort's parade ground. See the flag pole there in the center. And then we move down along. This is the new guardhouse. It was used between 1888 and 1890. Guardhouse and fixed as the guardhouse. As we go inside, notice that here on the right was the cells. A little dark, can't see. Then over here was the quarters for the guards. In the site of more barracks. These were infantry barracks here. Originally they were log, and then in 1873 they were converted into frame structures. Here we have a infantry barracks. This is what the ones that are just the ruins would have looked like. Today, the barracks is a museum and gift shop. Here are some more fort structures. This was the fort commissary. And here is the office. These are the laundress's quarters. And this area was the original Bridger trading post. The Mormons, when they took over the post, encircled it with a stone wall. This is all that remains of that wall. Now along here were a row of barracks. Okay, the state has outlined where these structures were located. We're now coming up on the most impressive house in the fort, and this, of course, was the commanding officer's quarters. Now, the officers' quarters had an interesting history. It was built in 1884 and served until the post was closed. After it was closed, the post was closed, the house was purchased and moved to another location and turned into a hotel. Like many houses of its time, it had a central hallway to keep the house cool in the summertime. And then each room had a door that could be closed off so that the room could be heated. This would be the parlor. Okay, here is another room. Note the fireplace. This is the dining room. So we're going to go up the stairs. Here's one bedroom. You can see, note the chamber pot. And another bedroom. This was probably the wife's bedroom. It was customary in the Victorian times for people of the upper class to have separate bedrooms. This is the back of the house, and as you can see, there was one or two rooms above the kitchen area. There is the outhouse, and then along the back porch here would be the kitchen. Let's see if we can look in. Yes, here's a kitchen table, stove. Now, when the fort was closed, the property was turned over for homesteading, and the structures were sold at auction. Some were moved, others were just occupied by people in the area. This is the case for this house. It was originally a officer's quarters and then became a ranch house in 1910. Our loop of the fort, we pass by the commander's quarters and proceed down what would have been called Officers' Row. The officers' quarters would have been like many of the other buildings in here, log and then frame. Here's an idea of what the log and frame officers' quarters would have looked like. And we see in the back a privy or outhouse. Going into the officers' quarters in the front room. And now the central hall, another room. Here's another, the bedroom. Here we have the dining room. And then in the back is the kitchen. Cooking area, and then beyond that door was the dining area, and then the door on the right would go into the pantry. Fort Bridgers served as a military post from 1858 to 1890. In 1933, the property was deeded to the state and established as a historical site.